What's the word, y'all? I am Werds Illah, aka Drew Skills, aka Ill Doing It Too, and this is the Werds Illah Podcast. And of course, you know who's here with me.
Yeah. What's happening? It's the boy, the baker. 1/3 of Some Married Guys podcast. What's happening, man? We here.
Yeah, we here, we live, we amped up on coffee.
Yeah, amped up. I don't even know how to go.
Oh, where's this coffee?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just ready. Whatever, let's do it.
Who drinks coffee at 6 o'clock at night that doesn't have to go to work or anything?
Guys, we do. Actually,
We do.
6 o'clock, and time is fucked up.
Yeah.
We can't tell time. It's 8:20.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but it's the fucking daylight savings time, all that shit, man. This is crazy, man. Like,
Yeah.
we were just saying it earlier. It was like 5 o'clock, 5:30. I was like, yo, I swear to God, it's got to be later than this, but it's
Mhm.
not. Like, but yeah,
It's
man.
a trick.
Yeah. Anyways, so what you been up to, man, since last week, man? The last pod. Man?
It was fight night over the weekend.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah,
That's right.
we enjoyed that, man, and then we
We'll
me
dive
and
into
me
that
and
a
the
little
fellas.
bit.
Yeah, me and the fellas, we potted and we talked.
Yeah,
to
y'all should check that out, man. It was
Yeah.
hilarious, man.
It's called
I couldn't
Damn
listen
Nate
to
Damn.
every last minute of it, but I listened to a big majority of it, and man,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
That's
good.
the one.
It was good, man. It was
I'm
good,
hearing
like
some
you
good
said.
reviews, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good feeling, man, when we know we're doing something that we like to do and it's being received well. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yep.
Hopefully, and I put prayers out for Nate Robinson, and I heard he's doing okay now. And I didn't want to just make it off at his expense. So that's not what my podcast is about. You know what I mean? But
you can clear the air a little bit here on the Words of the
Yeah,
podcast
you know
and
what
let
I
them
mean?
know.
that's not what this shit's about. But it was fun. It was all in fun.
Right.
And we enjoyed it. So
Absolutely, yeah.
But that was it, man. You know what I mean? Just waiting to come here and do this.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. But yeah, man.
What's happening with you, bro?
Shit, man. Same thing. I mean, I was going to come by, but then Diz got here, told me he had a link, and I was like, well, shit, man, I'm already here.
Yeah.
So he found a link, and we watched it too, man. And yeah, that's kind of what we did basically since the last time we did the pod.
Right.
So in between then, I don't know, man. Mainly still working on getting these verses right for this mixtape. I'm going to the studio tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock this out, man. Like I said, the project's only gonna be like 10, 15 minutes. It just depends.
Okay.
I have an idea for some extra little things I want to add in terms of like clips or whatever I want to put on there, but overall, like the actual lyrics themselves, there's like each verse is like a minute and a half, 2 minutes or something like that. So it's just, something to have to wade over until I can get everything aligned for the next EP.
Yo, not to just mull over that real quick. You said each verse is like a minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's quite a significant amount of verbiage.
I mean,
during
yeah,
a verse for those who don't are lyrically inclined.
it is in a way, but I feel like in some
That's impressive. That's what I'm saying.
well, I appreciate
You know
that,
what
but
I
I think
mean?
overall,
That's
like
impressive.
that should be the standard. I think because it's easier to make music these days that way. Like you could really like write a whole. I think a lot of artists I've heard say that before too. Like, well, they could write a whole song by just writing, however many 32 bars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 2 minute verse or whatever, and it's like you just break it up somewhere in the middle and find a way to end a verse and begin the next verse, and there you go. You put a hook in the middle, and there's your song. And it's like the hook can come together in 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You're sitting there chilling, vibing, whatever, and then bam, drop it on there. There you go. Song's done.
Throw some D's on that bitch.
Yeah. In a way, it's like it's that simple. A lot of times because music is shorter, or if you can find a dope refrain, so to speak, which is weird because we call them hooks, but I think there's a lot of people doing more like refrains.
Yeah.
Where there's a way that they've taken a certain part of stanza or whatever, a 4 or 8 bar that they really fuck with hard, and they're like keep attaching it to the extra 8 bar on the next part, or they put it somewhere in the middle somewhere. Like they're finding ways that there's not a whole lot of really long verses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People are writing a whole one verse and then a half of a verse and then just making that another part that goes along with the song. You know what I mean? Like it's getting easier for people to make, and there's good songs. It's not bad because music is that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to be catchy in some ways, but okay, I just got verbose. I got on another tangent as per usual. But I want to, let's start off like we were just saying, the fight. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. No, it was
Wow.
good, man.
Yeah, it was good. It was enjoyable to watch the undercards that came on before the undercards. Like there were fights that came on before. What's his name? Nate and what's his name?
Yeah.
Those guys. Those were some
I
good
saw
fights too.
I saw like 2.
Yeah, I wish I knew their names. I don't remember who they were. But
Yeah, no.
they were tough. They were
Yeah.
fighting tough. They were fighting hard. They were out there showing. Those were real pro fighters.
Yeah, indeed. That's what I said.
They're on the come up and they're trying to get their name out there. And they were like, "Yo, I'm in here to fight. I need people to see my skill and show what I can do." Like, so yeah, that was dope. But get right to it, man. Fucking, oh my God, Nate. Oh my God, Nate. Oh man, like what I heard people talking about. A lot of the same, people who are aware of boxing and just fighting in general. Like, that was borderline dangerous and deadly for him to make that decision.
Yep.
Because he definitely went in there with no strategy.
Mm-hmm. He went in there
whether or not he was taught one or not, I don't fucking know. Because it definitely didn't look like it. He went in there straight, running at him.
Mm-hmm. Head first.
And off balance. Literally like top heavy almost. Like just running and like almost like falling over as he's running forward. It wasn't like there was no standing. He only stood on his flat feet to like prepare himself to do any kind of boxing, quote unquote, for like 2 or 3 times in the whole fight.
Yeah. No, he definitely could have been seriously injured, man, if not, more,
Mm-hmm. Like they said, it doesn't take
for
much.
The bag.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get knocked out, man, or for it to do damage to you.
What is it? 5 ounces of
4.
pressure?
I think it's 4 or 5. One or somewhere, I guess, somewhere in that range.
Give or take.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you hit on the right spot. You know what I'm saying? There's just areas on your face and in your head that if you hit it, it's just like a button. That's it. Out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And if there's any power behind that punch, it can do damage to the inside. You can have hemorrhaging. You can have, bad things can happen to you.
Absolutely.
You can't recover from some of those things. You know what I mean? Or you're just not the same afterwards.
Not the same afterwards.
Man.
I was thinking that shit myself, man. Like, because he was on the mat for a while.
He was, and it was a wild overhand punch. It was one of the ugliest punches I heard you say on your podcast. Like, it was ugly. It was not like some. Though he's a trained fighter,
he's had some training.
Yeah, which again to me is like I gotta call him that.
Then. Yeah,
because whether or not he's the highest trained fighter, he is a trained fighter.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? He understands how to hold his hands, how to move in the ring. Like, so I give him that much. Whether or not he's gonna be some excellent boxer and he's gonna go on to do great things, I don't know. But irregardless, what Nate went in there doing was somebody who had no idea what he was doing.
Shouldn't have been in there, really.
Yeah,
they should have did like something else.
and
anything like play a basketball game or
took it very, very seriously.
Yeah,
have actually been really, really dedicated to training and going there with a real plan and strategy.
Real trainers and coaches. Because I don't think you trained with some.
No, it doesn't look like it doesn't look like he sparred enough. Yeah. That's a very important part. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like they say, I mean, and still, there's a big difference between fighting, sparring, and boxing. I mean, there's a lot of elements that go into each one of these things, but sparring is the next closest thing to what you're going to get to when you're boxing. You know what I'm saying? And you should be doing that. Like what I saw a little bit listening to the Lupe and Royce podcast talking about, like, yo, man, there's just people who could beat somebody off basically off of body mechanics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't even have to be strong. They don't even have to be big. They don't even have to be like, the most powerful puncher. They could just literally be able to understand how the body operates and see when like you said, when we were talking to Donovan earlier, and like how to block stuff and like how that creates an opening, and then knowing what that creates afterwards, like knowing those things, because the body moves in very specific ways, and when you do certain things and you throw certain punches or whatever, like it leaves certain areas open or whatever, and so that's how people can beat people. Yep. You don't have to be strong. Like you
said, science, man.
Yeah, it's an art. It's an art. You know what I mean? And and he didn't go in there looking like he was very artful. No,
he didn't study the science at all.
Yeah, no. It was good and bad to watch. It's like a car crash. Like you can't watch, but you got to keep watching though. Yeah. And then Snoop didn't make it no better, man.
No,
the commentary was hilarious. Oh my God, yo. He said, is he wearing basketball shoes?
Yeah, no, it was a spectacle. Shout out to Nate Robinson, man.
Definitely for him. Because I've seen other people speak about it too. Like, just respecting him as an athlete overall. Yeah. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. He played a hell of a time in the league. He did a lot. He won dunk contest like 3 or 4 times,
something like that.
You know, he's it doesn't take anything away from him. I don't think it doesn't change anything about who he is to me. I just think it just makes people
be like, he can't fight.
Like, yeah, that's not the thing. That's not the thing you need to do, man.
Don't expect Nate to hold you
like
down.
I said, if you're going to do it, be 100% dedicated. Literally, you're not going out here doing a bunch of YouTube videos or doing whatever. Like, no, you're in the gym. So if you're doing videos, it's people recording you training and being in the gym and learning the mechanics. Yeah. Because at least do that much. If you're not going to be, you know, the most powerful puncher and you're not going to be hitting the weights and try to get all strong and be big, cool. At least learn how to defend and how to throw punches. You know what I'm saying? Because that right there could set you up. You could do another YouTube fighter, somebody who's not a pro boxer, but somebody who just like call out on YouTube or whatever, who can fight a little bit. You know,
they can play a game with it like how wrestling does. They
exactly
a bunch of
and then like I saw Roy say too, like that was a sanctioned fight. Like that should have never happened, really. Like they didn't have headgear on. No. You know what I'm saying? And those gloves were not like, they were 12-ounce gloves, I think. They weren't like the biggest gloves you could get. Like it should have just been made into like a joke. You know what I'm saying? Almost. They should have came in there playing around in a way. You know what I'm saying? Or had bigger gloves so big or something that it was just
like
kind of like
a caricature. Almost.
Yeah, something like that. You know. No, I was. They were saying like, oh, how did they even get that sanctioned? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like
Jake Paul does that though. This is not his first fight. Like he's fought before in an arena. I believe it was sanctioned because I mean I've
heard that, but I didn't see it or I didn't.
It was
know
another YouTuber. I mean he makes money. You know.
I know he does. He's got like I said 30 or 40 million followers across all platforms.
Absolutely. So I think he has the ties to do this and be a professional or whatever he has to do.
Apparently he does, man. I didn't know it was that simple, man, because I heard Snoop talking about he's going to start a league.
Yep, I read that somewhere.
So,
him and Triller,
I don't know how that works, but I guess a lot of stuff is like more or less like it's liability and clauses and stuff you can have people sign and things that people are like, yo, you're giving your right away to sue us or say anything because we're telling you here's an opportunity. We're not making you fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can back out if you want. You can say you don't want to, but here's an opportunity. If you would like to, here it is. But once you're in, you can't say nothing to us about it.
We're not held liable. And if you just so happen to get injured or die, you can't sue us.
Yeah. And most of the time, then that's what it is going to be. Like, yo, you signed up knowing what you're getting into. So if it does happen, sorry for you, but you've made a right, which is again about stuff that we all need to be able to do as humans. Is like, yo, you got to be able to make these rights to do these things that you want to do. Like, if you decide you want to make that decision to do that, then by all means, you should have that right to make that decision.
Yeah, accept accountability for it as well. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like don't you said like don't back out last minute and want to be mad at everybody and start trying to talk shit. No, they should have never let him do that. That's messed up that they would even let. No. He's a grown man. He was of competent mind. He was not. There was nothing wrong with him. He made the decision. That's his right, his will to do that. He's a human. He has the right to decide if he would like to do that or not. You know, which leads me to a good segue of the decriminalization of marijuana being passed in the House.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Good first step.
Yeah, good step. You know, but like we were saying, and I saw people saying Mitch McConnell, you know, being the head of the Senate, looks like, you know, he's probably gonna just swat it down. You know what I'm saying? But it may not be that way. You say
it may not be that way.
He does need to do something like you said, because overall as a political stance, if he wants to maintain anything or continue going on, it's not going to look too much good for him anymore. People already don't want him there, so you know.
They're trying to get his ass up out of there, and I just feel like
because the UN has already discussed this. Like the UN has made a decision that they're already ready to do that. I think they might have already done that. Like as far as other countries have already decided on, like, yo, we're willing to take it off. Yeah. You know, of this having marijuana as this Schedule I drug and having it being this incredibly terrible thing. Like they're willing to go that far. America's still trying to get to just decriminalizing it. You know what I'm saying? Which then means you could still get in trouble if you have higher amounts and do other things with it, which, I mean, that's what alcohol, I think. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, we need to get on board, man.
Hell yeah, man. I thought I had a thought.
Mitch McConnell, he just he needs to make a decision, man, and get with it. because the rest of everybody seems to be on board. Everybody else is kind of like, yo, it's been past time.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of Republicans like the idea of legal, marijuana.
Right. Definitely from a business standpoint.
You know what I mean?
Because I remember hearing, not early, but just recently at some point, the idea of the tie to the Republican Party being a party that kind of represents like big business, and the Democrats representing small business in some form, because neither one of them are really, like, we know as a whole, political views are not really rooted in a lot of like human things.
Right.
They're rooted in this capitalist thing and this business world, and so that's where they're standing to put all their attention to. But Republicans would love it because they can corporatize it, and that's what they're all trying to do right now. All of them are trying to find the ways that they can get in, and like Virginia is talking about, or their steps that they've been talking about is obviously for them to get the best way to have the monopoly on it, to have something similar to what the ABC represents here, like the ABC store, and that and what that governing body that allows for the ABC store to exist and for people to be licensed to sell liquor and stuff. They want to have that in the marijuana world as well. Yeah. They want to be able to take over basically and have it galvanize it. You know what I'm saying? And which they would be the biggest ones, but then you'd still have, the ability to have franchise stores and things the same way you got like this corner store that's by your crib that they got a bunch of stuff in there that's not just gas station stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got other things that they want to put in there that because it's their store. Yeah. So they can drop shirts, whatever they want to put in there. They can put music in there. They could put they got the CBD stuff in there or whatever. It's like, because it's their store, and that's where those things are going to come up. But again, everything is going back to, like we were saying, like about these businesses, these smaller businesses, and the marijuana industry starting up. It's going to be about how close can you get to the community? How well can you invest in the people in the world, the people that you're around? You know what I'm saying? Because you can still exist if there was something as big as the ABC store or whatever. It would make it a little harder, obviously, but we're in a Commonwealth anyway, so we gotta understand they're gonna fucking take over any business that's a big deal. They're gonna find the way to make their biggest money off of it. So that's just the reality of it. But
yeah, man.
Like you said, it's a good first step. We'll see moving forward what happens. I don't know when they're supposed to. When it's supposed to go to the Senate and what, how long that may take or what, I don't know how that works, honestly.
I'm not sure as well.
I'll try to keep, there's a group I need to get a part of. There's something out here in Virginia. I'll have to look it up, guys. I wish I had it already on here. No.
Not normal, is it?
I think that is what it is. It is. You're right.
I've been on normal. I've signed up with them.
Yeah, I need to sign up with them because they do a lot of stuff. They get together and they also put a lot of blogs out and stuff and put together events and stuff where people meet and talk about the future of this because it's coming. We all know it. People
Marijuana Policy Project as well is a good one.
Marijuana Policy Project.
Yeah, I get emails a lot, pretty much monthly with just new updates on where things have been legalized and what's being pushed in legislation and what states. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you can contribute there.
Okay. That's tight.
It's not an advertisement.
No. Right, but definitely,
definitely
I'm sure that's a thing. Every organization, you gotta have that. You gotta have that. And again, like with us, I've done it a couple of times, but I don't want to beg. But make it available for people to let people know your Cash App. Let people know these other places where they can donate or send money to you or whatever, because you never know. You know what I'm saying? And just putting it out there is not me. I'm not begging. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally just saying, look, if you would, you never know. You got to kind of just remind people of these things. You know what I'm saying? And keep people aware of these things. You know what I'm saying? But so again, we'll be watching that, guys, moving forward for sure.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely be watching that. But today is a good day as well. It's funny because last week was a birthday, and today is a birthday. The great Hovey baby.
Hovey.
H-O-V-A.
Great Hova.
51 years old.
Man. That's
51,
dope.
Man.
That's dope.
He's a testament.
And he's still super nice, too.
Absolutely. That's what I was saying. He represents the same thing that Bruce Lee represents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just consistency and always striving, you know what I'm saying, to just be at the peak of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to outdo everybody else, but just knowing that you're so good that vicariously I'm just better than everybody as well. Like, that's just that because I'm working so hard to be the greatest me.
Yeah.
That just then it means that everybody else to me is not that great because it's just natural. It's got to be that you're so in tune with what you got, and that's what Jay represents, man. Especially since for a long time, And for what most people would even assume or even attribute it to is Jay is the one who started this whole off the top thing, this go in the booth and just inspiration and just go off and do it. And he's still doing it, and he proves it by you've heard stories. There's multiple stories, and when all these stories sound similar, you start being like, yeah, that's really what he does. It's really like a 15-20 minute period, and he's like, yeah, put me in the booth real quick. All right, let's knock this out. Like, just divine inspiration. But that comes with awareness. That comes with time. You know, that comes with focus. I remember the line. He said something about that, and all the greatest have said something about that or alluded to the idea of meditation. Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? What do you say? Stepped it up another level, meditated like a Buddhist. You know what I'm saying? Like he alluded to these things, like we were saying earlier about, like, you know, I remember growing up, or like during the Jay-Z Nas thing, you know, we were all choosing, like, Nas was the conscious guy, and Jay was the street guy, when it was like, if you really listen to them, they're mentioning a lot of the same things, and they're talking about the same things, because like we were saying too, today is also the anniversary, which I hate to even say that, but today is also the day when Fred Hampton passed. You know what I'm saying? Well, passed. He was murdered. You know what I'm saying? Assassinated. Yeah. So, you know, those parallels, and just having that knowledge of self and understanding, like being aware of these things. He was always mentioning these things. You know what I'm saying? And you can hear it in his lyrics, and he says it a lot too. Like, especially when 444 came out. You know, he was like, everybody's saying it's like my most personal album. And I mean, and to a degree it is, you know, but he's like, I mean, when have I not, you know what I'm saying, been sort of giving out my story and telling people about my experiences and whatever else, like, why? Because I didn't give it to you the way you thought I should have, or what? I don't know what it is, you know, like, but
444 was definitely sequenced different.
You're right.
And the layout was different than any other thing I think I've heard from Jay-Z. And, you know, well, I mean, we're not doing no 444 breakdown.
No, we don't got you, but we can talk about Jay-Z for a minute if we need to, because I mean, this is important. You know, this is a great guy, man, an incredible.
Oh, I fucks with Hov. I woke up and turned a Hov playlist on as soon as I got in the car.
Oh, like, that's what's up. I didn't do it. When I got off work, I was like, let me see, because I know for a while he was not on Spotify, and I need to make the switch, guys. I know but. You know, but yeah, I looked on Spotify and was like, oh damn, all his albums up there.
Yeah, he's up there now.
So yeah,
he did that deal a couple of months ago.
I did a little bit of nostalgia. Yeah, I think I did hear that he was like, yeah, okay, you know,
fuck it,
let the people have it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I had a little nostalgic moment. You know, I got off work, stopped and got something to eat, and then I was eating in the parking lot, and first thing I turned on was American Gangster. I just thought about the times we'd be driving down the Sandbridge, you know what I'm saying, and having our little sessions, you know what I'm saying, and that shit just brought back memories, yo. That album came out and we was hyped, you know what I'm saying? Cause I mean, I'll be honest, I gotta keep it. I'm gonna come clean, like ASAP Rocky always said. I'm gonna come clean, yo. I'm gonna come clean for real though. Like, I didn't really like the album at first, like I wasn't, but for whatever reason, it was the first album I went to today.
Yeah,
I wanted to listen to tracks from that. Something about that time, something about that sound of that album. I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah. No, that's an incredible album, man. That's one of my
No, it is.
It's one of my favorite albums.
Like, originally, like I said, I wasn't like gung-ho about it, but the more we sat with it and I listened to it a lot more, I started like just realizing what it was and like how it tied into the movie so well too. I felt like, as far as just the vibe of it and how it felt, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
man, I went back recently because I didn't know about the credits. I didn't know who was on the production on a lot of those joints. So I went back recently, you know what I'm saying, and looked and was shocked by the names on those.
I only know a handful of people. Like, who else did you?
Man,
like,
Diddy
was on there producing.
And his team, they did like 4 or 5 joints on the album, bro. Joints that you wouldn't think they did.
Who you think? I mean, who else? Like, you say his team. Like, I mean, who else was? Like, did it not name them?
I don't think they really named them. They said this
because
Diddy and
the only people I know of is who else? He worked with fucking Stevie J a lot.
Yeah.
And was that who was that back in the day that he had? He had a team.
I forget Diddy, right?
Yeah, but what was that? I don't know what he used to call, what they were called.
Yeah, I don't know what they were
called. But it
was
Stevie J and a couple of other guys. And I don't know this shit.
Right now.
But I know that was his team for a while, and like that's why it was funny, because everybody used to, when they would see Stevie J on he blew up on hip hop, Love and Hip Hop. And I didn't at the time even really know him as a person, but obviously it's funny because I knew of his music. Stuff he produced, I was like a fan of. And then I realized who he was and then the team he was with, and I was like, what? Why do I not know this? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like, that's crazy.
Well.
Like, I had no idea. Like, because just the theatrical way he was on Love and Hip Hop, I was like, yo, this dude is a dirtbag. Like, this dude is, but he's funny as fuck too, though. But
yeah.
And then I realized, like, damn, but he did all that shit with Diddy during like the 112 days and all that other shit. Like, he was a big hand in a lot of those albums, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So that was crazy, man. You know, that album alone, man.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But obviously all the Jay-Z albums. But yeah, who did you see it? Does it say what the name is? Diddy's.
No, it doesn't. It just says Diddy. To be honest with you, it just says Diddy.
It doesn't say anything about. That's crazy.
Nope. Producers Diddy, Sean Carter, and somebody named LV, respectively.
Well, that could be very well. You know, not that Diddy doesn't produce. It's just I know that Diddy had a team.
Yeah.
And he played roles in certain things. And he would do certain elements, but maybe he wasn't always the one like pushing the keys. You know what I'm saying? Doing that kind of stuff. But
he was like a, you know,
Quincy.
Loosely. Or Khaled.
Yeah, right.
Khaled, you know what I mean?
Very aware of how to put things in the right order, or you know what I'm saying, give arrangement ideas, or you know, just finishing touches, things that need to be done, so it gives it that extra thing that it needs, so that it can sound better or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Jay-Z,
he's all over that album. He did Rock Boys.
Oh, word.
Yep. He did Rock Boys.
That's crazy. And it's so weird because you would think like that album could have been produced by one producer though, because the sequencing and how it sounds, everything's cohesive. The sounds don't sound like anything's off. Like there's a cohesiveness to it, but there's a lot of hands on it.
Yeah, it's a lot of hands. Oh, here's the kick though, because this is what I didn't know that really threw me. You remember the song "Say Hello"? Say hello, the bad guy. I'm a bad guy. Yep. You know who did that? DJ Toomp. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
T.I.'s producer.
Wow, that's crazy, right?
Yeah. Blew my fucking mind when I saw it. I was like, oh, you know, and then I started hearing it. I'm like, yo, it does sound like a Toomp beat though. You know what I'm saying? Once you get, you know, put the name behind it. But he found a way
to do it that was going to be better for what Jay needed.
Yeah, bro. The album's incredible, yo.
It is too. And now you said like that adds another caveat to it, so to speak. Like, but puts another element to it that's like, okay, yeah. And Jay was at a time in his career because he was supposed to have just quit. Remember the Black album, and then this comes out. So
well, okay. Can I hold on? Can I give you the run?
Go for it.
Because I know why I like this album so much as well. Because like you said, he retired with the Black album, and then he came back after his little run as the president or whatever with
Def Jam.
Kingdom Come. He came back with Kingdom Come when the album was like,
you
know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but we bought into it. We're like, damn, Jay, you ain't hit us with the one yet. And then the American Gangster came, and we were like, this is the one. You know what I mean? So it had that feel with it.
It did, yeah.
And the movie, it just all fucking coincided. Like it was a dope rollout, man.
It was.
It was a genius
rollout. Didn't Blueprint 3 come sometime after that?
Yeah, I believe so.
That was the next project after that. I don't know how much time it was between that, but I'm saying, was that in the order of albums?
Let's just take a look. See.
Yeah, did that come after American Gangster? Was it? I think that's what it was. Was it American Gangster and then it was
American Gangster and then Blueprint 3? 2007 to 2009. Blueprint 3 in 2009.
Okay, so 2-year period, but that's what. And then when Blueprint 3 dropped, that was
that was dope too.
Was
I was like, he back. He back
in a real way too, because that was a wow.
Yeah,
like that Blueprint 3 had some shit on it.
Yeah,
man. And then you introduced J. Cole and Wale, and you know what I'm saying. Yeah. That was a great album. You know what I'm saying.
Indeed, that's another one of my favorites. I think they're all.
Yeah, but because Jay is not that guy who's gonna come in and do something lighthearted or just kind of maybe do an album. Like no. He lets you know when he's in album mode.
Indeed.
He's in album mode, and when it comes, just know.
Yeah.
It's been prepared already. It's not like I'm rolling this out slowly. Like, no, just know I'm working, and then when it's time, here it is, and it's got everything's already there. The music videos, the merchandising, the whatever, it's all ready to go, and it's gonna drop, and it's gonna coincide with certain things, and other things are gonna be around it, and he's a full on icon with his stuff. He's that guy. He's the guy. He is.
Yeah, he's
the GOAT.
Yeah, man.
I mean, there's a lot of goats. I guess we
Shout out
could
to
say.
Jay-Z. He's the goat of goats.
Yeah, I guess we could say that.
He was the first goat.
Yeah, he's the first goat. Oh man.
The lead goat.
Man. Let's take a quick side step, just a quick moment, just a joke, or maybe dive in a little bit. We'll talk a little about, obviously, still in this COVID world, you know, dealing with all of this coronavirus stuff, and
yeah.
Excuse me. They're you know, they're now getting ready to start turning out this vaccine.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of different things, and I'm still just, with most people, I think in this, it's weird because this never happened this fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, everything's so scripted. It seems like these days, it's always seeming like things just always seem off. Like it's just, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Things don't seem so. Things just have a weird look to them a lot of times. And now I just watched, and we were joking earlier about apparently Obama, Clinton, and Bush Jr. talking about that they would take the vaccine on TV to prove to people that it's safe.
Yeah.
Like, bro, yo, why, what kind of clout chasing is this? Like, what makes you think I believe in y'all? Or that I trust y'all to give me the right answer about what this vaccine is going to do to people? Like, and how do I know that that's the vaccine you're taking? Exactly. Just because it's on TV doesn't make it real. Like, don't y'all realize people have been questioning the media this year more than they've ever been questioning it before in their entire life?
Yeah.
And so now this is going to be your answer? We're going to do it on TV?
Do it on TV.
Where nobody trusts anybody anymore? Like, yo, bro, come on, man. Like, and not to mention, why y'all? Who said that y'all were like the totem pole of, yeah, we should believe it now because you guys did it?
Right. Yeah.
I didn't trust you before. Why would I trust you now?
That's a fact.
Especially with this. Like, come on now. Like, I don't care. It could be anybody. You could put anybody on the TV taking it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who it is. It's still not going to make me change my mind. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's see what happens in 6 months. Like, I mean, I'm not against it. I just want, like, what most people who are saying that they're not anti-vax, they're just like, yo, I just don't want to be the first, man.
Yeah.
I want to watch what happens with some other people and just give it some time.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I don't have an exact time of how long I would like to wait. I just don't want the first wave that comes out to be me to take it. I don't want that. I don't want to be a part of it.
Right. No, I agree. I 100% agree. This is way too fast, man. Yeah, it's just way too fast. I'm not jumping to that shit. I wait for the update, like the Xboxes and the PlayStation. I wait for the shit to burn out, all that.
If I learn anything about the tech world is that you don't get the first version.
Hell no.
When it drops, you know what I'm saying? You give it some time, let everybody else work out the kinks, and then you go for it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I feel like with this is like, yeah, I'm gonna let it, because I'm not against it. Again,
I'm not against it.
We were all, not all, I would say the largest majority of people, especially you went to public school, you were vaccinated before you went to school.
Indeed.
So, and you're still alive and doing well.
Yeah.
And we're 30 years from then, or 20 years from however old you are, from whenever you were there.
Yeah.
And the advancement of stuff has gone way quick. Every year, things get twice as fast.
So all right, let me stop you. With that being said, why don't we trust the vaccination then? You know what I'm saying?
Think what most people I've said too is there's a lot of people who just are untrusting of the government. And again, more now than ever. Yeah. And though the government doesn't make vaccines, yeah, but they help to administer these things and they help to push these things along and they help to get things out. And so people are just fearful of it. And just because of the nature of it, it's just too quick. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that just 8 months ago, 9 months ago, it seemed like there was no end in sight. Nobody knew when this was going to go over, what was going to really happen. Yeah. Now all of a sudden they've got a vaccine, and this has never happened before.
Can I jump into conspiracy mode?
Go for it.
What if they already had the vaccine?
And that's what people I think are saying. In turn, like saying it without saying it is what people are. That's how the attitude I feel like is. A lot of people are like, "Yo, how do you guys already have it this quick? Because there's never been a vaccine that's ever been made this fast before for anything."
For anything. Ever.
So but it is not unlikely, really, just because of the nature of, again, science.
Yeah.
And how quickly things advance and how much better they get at things. And especially the more minds working on the same thing all at the same time, there's more likelihood for there to be more data and more information and more exchanging of ideals and more ability to actually get to what you need to get to. And vaccines have changed since 15 years ago, you know what I'm saying? And they've gotten smarter and gotten better and took away a lot of things that they used to put in them and things of that nature. So there's new ways that they can do it now. And I think we should not start getting to a point where we're like trying to shun away science.
Right.
And think that this isn't something that can be done. It can be done. It's just, I'm with everybody. Like I said, we know how well these things don't work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in the tech world, if they're messing up computers and things of that nature, those things just fuck up. And no harm comes to a human body most of the time. This fucks up, you fuck up a body. And then it may not go back to the same again. You know, and that's where there's a problem. But it's one of those things you can't get away with because there are people who got vaccinated by other things and died in the past. You know what I'm saying? And there's always going to be a percentage of people who are not going to react to a vaccine well.
Yeah, indeed.
And I mean, what are we going to not give everybody?
That's my fear. That's my fear. Other effects. Like I said, I said it jokingly, but in jest, you know what I mean? What if I take this vaccine and then I pop up with cancer? Yeah, I beat COVID, but now I got fucking cancer that I died from. You know what I'm saying? Because of this vaccine. I
watched a lot of Lupe who went live, and he's talked to a lot of people, and I watched him talk at one point, specifically talk to Werds Islam of the nation, and they were talking about, because he's anti-vax, and you know, it's just that we got to be aware of the fact that, you know, again, let's not discredit science and act as if these things can't be real, and like this can't happen, like this isn't something that can work, like. Right. Like, you know, I think we're getting out of ourselves because of this idea that we don't want this system to tell us what to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, like I said, there's just a percentage of people that just are not going to do well with this. And at what level are we willing to sacrifice those who could do well with it? You know, are we willing to just not worry about it? But also, like I was saying earlier, I saw him talking about, like, to some level, there's doctors who are like, yo, we're at a point where now the viral load is so large because there's so many cases and there's so many people all over that now have had it or have it, that at this point it's more like, it's not who has it, it's when are you gonna get it? Just because it's so much now. We could have done it the way we should have done it, which was early on. But it would have drove people crazy, which is why it's important that we have somebody at a time like these that's actually sane of mind, that's the leader of the free world, quote unquote, that can speak to the right way of doing these things, who wouldn't have scared people by saying, let's have a federal lockdown. He would have scared the fuck out of everybody if he would have done that, because the way he would have done it would have been on some fucking martial law crazy, I'm in charge, let me fucking tell you what the fuck it is kind of way of doing it. And everybody would have been like, nah, fuck that, and they would have gone crazy. They would have lost their fucking minds. We know it. So it's a touchy subject. You know, though he should have done it, how could he have done it? Would that end up becoming this thing that would have blown up and everybody going there, losing their minds and going in the streets and going wild?
Pandemic team by him. See, and this is the thing that leads me again to the conspiracies, that they knew this was coming all along, because
well, yeah, they did, and that's the thing about it.
Long before this shit.
The craziest thing about it is like they did know this.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like it's already been known that they did know this.
Yeah.
And now they're still trying to find, but because of the time of things and how quickly stories move these days, and how quickly our attention is always being diverted and readjusted, and where we're thinking about things, we lose track of it, and we don't even know how to keep up with timelines and when things happen and where and why, and we don't know because the stories are flipped, turned, deleted. All this shit is just fucked up. You know, it's hard to keep up and know, but there are people who know and they're telling people, but people still don't believe it. They're telling you like, yo, this man, no.
They knew this was going to happen.
They told him. China told his ass, yo, bro, this shit is fucking crazy, bro. We over here dying. This shit is wild over here. You need to shut that shit the fuck down over there. Stop now.
But what did he do instead? He dismantled the fucking pandemic team. You know what I'm saying? The people who had plans in place for these types of things, exactly these types of things. You know what I'm saying? To at least to get ahead of it before it became this. For sure. This
which is crisis. Why, like I said, this is just the reality that this is what happens. America is now realizing, like I was talking to a coworker the other day about, like, people are like, oh God, they're out here. Here's what I say, like, again, don't rest on your loins, as they say, man. Don't be out here thinking that just because the election is over and now Trump's no longer president, that all of a sudden the world is about to get better, man, because people will do that. And what will happen is in 4 years from now, he'll come back and be in the fucking president again.
Yeah, he's aiming for it too.
And he could do it. Like, I think people are too fucking naive, man. They believe they're too, I believe in being hopeful and having good thoughts and things of that nature. But bro, you got to be honest too and be realistic. 74 million people voted for him.
I was thinking the exact
same thing. So think about that. Think about that. And think about that means he fucked up that bad and they still wanted him. Mm-hmm. And that means he could just do a little bit of work over the next 4 years with some good political advisors and get some people to calm him the fuck down and listen and say what he needs to say, and then he can continue going.
Or even worse, he doesn't get any of that, but Joe Biden just fucks up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Joe Biden just doesn't do something that similar the people to this want.
Thing, like people are getting again blindsided by the idea that Democrats are really some kind of different party of people. They're really very closely tied to what Republican views are in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
And they're pushing a lot of the same ideas. Like we said, we've seen like Biden is putting Republicans in his cabinet. I think that was his plan, is to keep trying to act like we're going to be more bipartisan when it looks more like you guys are trying to just take a lot of what the Republicans already are doing and implement it into your way and then rephrase it and say that you came up with it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're seeing. I think there's going to be a lot of just continuation of not wanting to really change things. You know what I'm saying? Because we just saw, I saw recently, I don't know, and I hate to just read headlines sometimes and just go off of that, but I did see, Obama saying something about how, the whole, you lose people with these snappy slogans like defund the police and stuff. And it's like, bro,
I saw that.
Nah, yo, that's not the one.
Not
like,
that, ain't it, Barack?
Yeah, like, bro, no. You got, like, y'all are public servants, man.
Yeah.
Your whole entire existence should weigh on the idea that you should be listening to the people. And then if you don't understand what they're saying clearly enough, don't chastise and tell them how they should come to you and tell you what they don't like. Go to them and say, okay, look, I'm misunderstanding. So you're saying that this is what you want. Okay, can you help me, like, give me a little bit more understanding of what you're trying to say? And then work with them to get it right so then you can see that what they're saying. But again, it's like if somebody's trying to make a change, they can't say in the nicest way what they're trying to get done. They got to say it in a loud, abrupt, angry way sometimes so that you really are hearing. And then you can be like, okay, cool. Now you're listening.
Yeah.
So here's what we're saying. Bam, 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 bam. And I can give you an outline. And if people were doing that, this whole idea of these snappy slogans, like, bro, you wouldn't be saying that because you'd be like, oh, see, I went and talked to them and they said, this is what they're trying to do. And this is what they need. It's like, yeah. It's not that hard, man. Get up, go out in these places where these things are already occurring out and have discussions consistently, not every once in a while, every day or every week. Go to these places or get with these organizations and in the White House. Bring them to you. These are the people that are out in the streets of the people that you're supposed to be representing. So bring them with you.
Yeah,
or they know.
Get out
already.
there, walk through the streets, man. With the king's disease.
Yeah, right.
Or like if you're a Disney fan, I don't know if any Disney fans listening, but Aladdin and shit like that. Right. They stay in the palace so much they don't even know what's going on with the people inside the town. And,
absolutely,
people are fucking going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Disconnected.
For sure. There's a lot of that happening with a lot of people, man. Super, like they checked out. You know what I'm saying? And it tells by their language and the way that they do things. Their intentions are still rooted in something that is about gaining. It's not about giving. It's not about trying to find ways to push and make something get better. They're just like, what can I do? How should I say? When? And in what places should I do these things in so I can get this result? Yeah. It's like, bro, you're missing the whole fucking point, man. You're missing everything. It's completely over your head. You're not even in the same planet as us right now. Like, there's very few things that really are of dire need that need to be done immediately, and those things can be done. They're not impossible. It's just, again, this whole idea of law and order and trying to keep things in place and all this stuff is just, they're so attached to it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, to me, it's like you're starting to show where their money is. Yeah. Clearly, you got a lot of money and fucking invested in policing and other things.
Yes, sir.
Because you're not trying to see that shit go away.
You want to let it go.
You don't want that shit to stop because you like, fuck my money, man. Fuck, how am I supposed to shit?
Think about it though, shit. Because if they defund police, that means they have to defund the prisons. You know what I'm saying? So they're not getting money
the prisons just start drying up.
They're gonna dry up. You know what I'm saying? So there's no money from those private-owned prisons that they fucking.
Which then have people doing work in there. That are selling
free labor.
goods. So it starts to. It's a trickle down effect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or shrivel up effect.
Yeah, shrivel up. There you go.
You know
Exactly.
They can't.
But they know that. We know that.
Yep.
And it's funny because they think that it's gonna last forever, and it does. That's what I mean. It's like we're watching a lot of people who are holding on to old things that they're just gonna be on the wrong side of history, and it's gonna be their own fault, and nobody's gonna give two fucks about it. Nobody's gonna look back and be like, damn, bro, that's fucked up. They're gonna be like, haha, stupid, and just keep moving. Like, nobody's gonna do anything about it. Nobody's gonna change their mind about it. Like, there are a lot of people who, especially like we were saying with younger people, they're just like, nah, their decisions are their decisions. They're not waiting to see if there's an approval from from somebody older than them or somebody who can give them the right to think this way or feel this thing. No, immediately they feel it, they think it, they say it.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, that's what they said that they were fighting for the right to do these things, and these kids are taking it head on. They're like, well, that's what y'all said, so I feel like this shit is wrong. Let's cut it out right fucking now. You know what I'm saying? Period. Why are we still moving?
Yeah, that's what it's a hard thing. You watch kids, it's like, again, it's not do as I say, it's do as I do. That's what they do. So you go all your time telling them all these things that they should not be doing and trying to tell them what the right thing is to do in life, and they turn around and watch you not doing it, and then when they bring it up to you, then you want to try to shut them down. It's like, no, it's not the same thing. No. See, that's where older people, and especially a lot of people have kids, want to get into a place where they're starting to try to tell the kids that almost like they can't be wrong. So your kids should just believe everything you say all the time, and you're never wrong. You can never improve. You're just always right. And it's like, no, because they've seen you do wrong.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Whether you know it or not.
They've seen the contradictions in you, telling them one thing and then doing the same exact thing that you told them not to. They watch it too. They see it, so they're conflicted.
Yeah.
So you're implementing things to them that makes them feel like they shouldn't say things. Then you get mad at them when they don't want to speak up, and it's like, yo, you're creating this dynamic with them where they believe you 100%. What else are they supposed to believe?
Yeah.
They don't have anything else bearing on society or the world around them. They don't have that ability to understand yet. Their brain isn't developed it that way yet. All they know is what's around them and what they see. So imagine how conflicted we all have been probably as children, but everybody does their best. But I mean, again, your parents tell you one thing, you see them do the same thing they told you not, and then you're like trying to put it in your head and make it make sense. You're like, but they told me not, but they did it. But okay, but they're older, so maybe when you get older, you can do those things, I guess.
Oh man, you sound like that's my Jackson.
Yeah.
Because he's like, we got a problem saying swear words, cuss words in my house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he knows he can't say it. He's like, but Daddy, you say it because you're a grown up. So grown ups can say bad words, but kids can't say bad words. I'm like, yeah, but no, nobody should really say bad words.
You're trying to get into a moral conversation with a kid who doesn't understand morality yet. And he gets it, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because there's layers to it that he can't fully encompass.
He's 3, almost 4 for the listeners who don't know my Jackson.
Right. But so he's having that moment. You know what I'm saying? Where that next developmental stage in his life is happening, where he's able to start putting a little bit more complexity to his thought. It's not just these simple questions anymore. Sometimes now the question has layers to it that you have to try to break down to him, and he's trying to now pick it apart and be like, what is that? But okay.
Yeah, absolutely. He's intrigued, and it's an adventure, man.
Yeah.
Watching these kids grow into themselves, like.
Yeah, they want to talk more, they want to know more, they want to, and it's quicker. Like we said, every generation, they're picking up on things faster. You know what I'm saying? They're learning quicker.
Yes, sir.
They retain information a lot quicker. They're just, they're sponges. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
they pick up very fast, and then they just implement. There's not a lot of in-between time between knowing or learning something and then doing it. It's a lot of very much one step into the next. They hop right in.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? They're not afraid of those things.
That's what the guy Dr. Bruce Lipton, I was listening to, he's talking about, programming the brain and reprogramming things like that.
Right.
He mentioned that about, in the first 7 years, the brain being the most, absorbent time, like, because it's,
right.
and it's, that's when they take everything in and
with no bias.
With no bias, right or wrong, whatever information that they see, they're soaking it in, and it's like,
it's getting stuck in
being coded in
subconscious.
that subconscious. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So after that 7th year, now it's on autopilot. Whatever that's
a lot of that stuff that was recorded just starts playing out.
Yep, absolutely. So the first 7 years are probably the most crucial if you want them to know certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was speaking to somebody about the way Asians and over there, the way they educate their children. You know what I'm saying? They throw more difficult shit at them earlier because of the way the brain works at that age. You know what I'm saying? They learn fucking algebra and trigonometry at 4.
Yeah.
Where we don't start learning our ABCs until we're 5.
Yeah.
Here.
Kindergarten is 5. You go to kindergarten when you're 5.
They know fucking algebra by the time they're in kindergarten here.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, oh yeah, because again, a lot of stuff that we've implemented is just based. It's run through capitalism.
Yeah.
Every aspect of everything that is done, from education to marriage to having children to everything, is all ran through capitalism. Yeah. So the first priority is not how to improve on whatever these aspects are. It's just get them in so the money starts rolling in.
Yep.
So that there's money coming in.
Oh man, it's crazy.
And that's why we're losing, so to speak, at the level that we're losing. That's why we're always at a certain. We're not, though we have the best institutions, and most people from other parts of the world come to our institutions to learn, like the Harvards and the Yales and the MITs and stuff. They come from all over the world to come to these institutions because all the greatest minds come here because of how much money we have here. Mm-hmm. But most of the real smart places and the biggest industries and stuff are overseas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's all they've ever spent time on.
Yep.
America is money hungry and warmongering. So we gotta have money and we gotta have all the weapons. And over there in a lot of other countries, it's we gotta be smart.
Yeah, we want to be smart.
We gotta be smart. What's the next thing that's coming that's gonna be the big thing? We're getting all of our kids in it.
Yeah.
All of them are gonna do it.
Yep. Because when everybody who wants to go shoot is all done dead and shooting, we're done shooting.
They're gonna need
doctors,
have to rebuild this shit. And technology people, they're gonna need all these people, and we're gonna be the ones doing it.
Yep.
And that's playing the long game, and America is long been forgotten about that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? No more big industry here. No more homegrown stuff. No more American made. A lot of that is just not a realistic thing anymore. It's happening more decentralized. Yeah. There's smaller pockets of people that are doing it. You know what I'm saying? More independent people. But again, the idea that we're trying to say about implementing, which is going to happen more often, I think, is the group economics idea.
Yeah.
Who are you already directly around that you already are cool with and that you've known for all these years? All of you put your minds together, put your buying power together, and then go get something started, and then everybody can branch out and do their own thing. Mm-hmm. But you got to have everybody together first. There's already 10 people that got buying power.
Yeah.
Tell them all, let's work on our credit for the next year, and then by that next year after that, we all put our buying power together, do X, Y, and Z. But that takes, first and foremost, you have to even like people first. You know what I'm saying? And truly like them. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be trusting people with that kind of money and that kind of debt and that kind of responsibility. You know what I'm saying? But it's so crazy because we're so stuck in a loop of not wanting to be in what we're in, but not wanting to do the work and stuff it's going to take to get to the other place you want to get to. It's like that's purgatory. You can't do both. Pick one. You can't be complaining and be mad about where you are. Have options of what you could do to make it right, but then choose not to do it because you don't want to do the work for it, and then turn around and continue to complain about what you think you should have, or I wish my life was this or whatever. It's like, bro, that just sounds ridiculous. You're acting like we're not telling you have a debilitating disease and you got cancer and you're gonna die. It's guaranteed. Right. We're telling you these things that you're doing to yourself can be prevented or could be stopped, but it would take maybe you for the next year taking a sacrifice and not celebrating and not doing whatever getting your credit up, and then you can go and do all these things. But that's everybody's got another thing that comes up in their life that can be the one thing that would be like, oh man, I gotta stop, man. And, you know, it's just too much right now. I gotta, you know, whatever. But I'm gonna get back to it. But then you never get back to it. We've all done it. You know what I'm saying?
Man. That brings me to this. Like, I posted this post, and I've been saying this shit ever since I saw it. I saw it on like the Comedic Science Institute or whatever. But the guy said, paths don't move, people move. You know what I'm saying?
I saw that.
Yo, I swear, like I saw it, and I was like,
resonate with you,
man.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it before with the Book of Eli movie with Denzel. He talked about the path the whole time, but this one just hit me different because it's like we move. You know what I'm saying? But the path doesn't move. You know what I'm saying? The path stays the same as long as you move on the path.
Yeah. Now, in a scientific way, I mean, obviously, the planet is moving, but in our relative perception of the world itself, in a way, it's like the Earth is not moving. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, and so it's the same way you're talking about like a path. Whatever has been tried and true is tried and true because it's been done and it's had the same result over and over and over. You can do it. You can watch it. Patterns can't be faked.
Yeah.
Can't fake a pattern.
Yeah.
A pattern comes by action. Consistent overtime action. And when you see, like you said, the result,
it's just like you said, though, you might come into that obstacle, that little bump or that fork in the path, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, I can't go here anymore.
Which brings me to something I saw that I posted. It said something about, you know, just think about this, you know what I'm saying? When you're going through something rough and you think that God's not on your side, you know, the teacher is always silent during a test.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
And that's like, again, it's like, yo, when those moments come in that bump or that fork, that's your chance now. You had you're there now.
Yeah.
At the moment that you need that you want it. Now it's up to you have to take it. Yep. That's what free will is. If you believe in it, and again, I always am on this fence, man. I'm not atheist, but I'm not a believer of a lot of the ways in which people are taught what religion is or how it operates or what it is. And the fact I have to learn myself to like catch myself because I quote unquote, it's not a big thing, so to speak. I don't even want to use the word triggered, but I will just for the sake of trying to make it make sense. I'm triggered, so to speak, by when people speak about and say things about God and they keep referring it to as he. Yeah. Why do you keep personifying it? Why is it a he? What is this affinity we have for this idea of a he? Why does it have to be a gender?
Right.
Why does God have to be it's not a That's why I said humans are not that fucking great. We always believe we are whatever, the center of whatever. We're not. Why the fuck would something as powerful and amazing as what you're trying to describe to me be anything related to a man or a woman or any gender at all? The fuck makes you think that? Like, that shit to me is kind of weird. Again, it just shows how deeply invested. And it's impossible, I think, for most of us to even think outside of that because you're a fucking human. What else are you supposed to think? A turtle is the fucking God, which was weird that people ever did that. But to me, that even sounds better, honestly, because it's like these are direct things you see in the world around you. These are actual things. It's not some made-up thing that you heard about. It's not some story you read. No, the world is here. That turtle's real. This thing and the people who, you know, they called it pagan religions who worship the sun or worship the seasons or worship and had all these other gods and stuff like that. It was like, yo, it was their attempt to say the real world that I'm seeing around me does these things. And so it makes me believe these types of things. Like, that makes way more fucking sense to me.
Yeah, indeed. I feel you. I agree.
Than the stories we're all making up. You know what I'm saying? That all of them are just really human emotional stories about how to deal
basically
with what goes on around you. But they're used, and we all know through history what a lot of these things were used for. You know what I'm saying? Control and then enslavement and things of that nature. And so, again, I have a trouble with a lot of religious ideals when people keep bringing in this idea of, like you said, instead of it just being a path that you follow, which I think is what all of these great stories, the Abrahamic religions, were talking about. There's a path. It's narrow. You know what I'm saying? And on both sides, there's part of the world that you should not really mingle with. Though you're going to have to because it's there, inevitably. You can't, it doesn't go away.
Right.
But there is a path. You know, it does exist. And it requires you to be a little bit more disciplined. It requires you to be a little bit more clear-headed. It requires you to think a little bit more about the steps you're taking and not the results of the steps. Just taking the steps and going towards this thing. Like, again, why does it have to? Who's leading? There doesn't have to be a leader.
Right.
There doesn't have to be some guy. There doesn't have to be this person in the sky or this man with wings. It doesn't have to be that. That doesn't eliminate the path. Like you said, the path still being real, just because there's not some man that's leading you to it.
Right.
Like.
Right. You know.
Because we've seen it. Again, or you can read stories about it, and you just know, like you said, the path works. We know it.
The path doesn't move, man.
And when you're on it and you want it, again, nothing comes in the difference of that to you. No, I mean, nothing stops it. Nothing is gonna give you a hiccup and make you want to be like, oh man, you know, maybe I shouldn't, because again, we talk about Nipsey, we talk about, you know what I'm saying, Pac, we talk about, you know, a lot of these great minds that they spoke a lot of these same things, like, yo man, you gotta go, like whatever the thing is, once you've got enough information to act on it, the rest will come. The think about the details is what's gonna make nothing happen. You know what I mean? And like I said, in the meantime, there'll be other people getting on that path, and you'll just have to sit there and be watching them.
Yeah.
And be regretful later on in life. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think things are happening regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, all the time.
Life is happening
every opportunity that you miss, somebody else is fucking taking that bitch, bro.
Yep.
That's a fact.
Yep.
Artifact.
That's an artifact, baby.
It's an artifact.
Oh man. Well, yo, a little off that. Let's get a little bit of music talk. Unfortunately, some bad music talk to start, but oh man, Casanova 2 times,
Casanova
man.
2 times.
Racketeering.
Damn.
Other things of that sort, man. It's crazy, man. I seen him post a video. He says he's innocent. You know what I'm saying? He says, you know.
So, hey, hold on, real quick. Was that the thing that they're calling the Harlem Heat investigation? Was that what that was about?
I don't know. I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
it could be. I don't know. I'm sure it probably does.
I think it. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know with that Harlem Heat, I was just listening on the way here, and they were saying there's like 14 different indictments involved in that. You know what I'm saying?
That's probably it. It's got to be it.
It is.
Because that's why it sounds like he seems like he's not really concerned about it, because he may be playing such a small. Whoever is putting his name in it, it may be such a small detail that he's thinking to himself. He's saying it's not going to stick because. Yeah. They're trying to just now. They're just pulling for, you know, like this. It's like a straw man's argument. They're just pulling for anything now, and his name comes up, and now they think they've got another tool they can use to push their case forward or whatever. But yeah, I hope so too, man, because what he says is like, you know, this is just proof. Like he was like, you know, I move around, I try to be as smart as I can, but you know, artists out here, especially as a rapper, you know, you're a target, you know what I'm saying? And when you're out here, you know, just by being associated with the wrong people, you can get you in trouble just because you're around the wrong person at the wrong time or whatever. And they put you in a room at the same time as somebody else when something happens, and they start saying you did something with that. And
now you're part of the conspiracy.
And that's what he's saying is kind of what's going on, you know? And so, I mean, that's why it's hard, man, you know, moving around a lot when you're out there and you're making it, you know, you know, again, it's like, I don't want to say that you should have to keep modifying your ways of doing things because people are going to come at you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, in some ways, you know, when you become, like I said, when you know better, you do better. You know? So when you're aware of the fact that you're a target, when you're aware of the fact that these types of things can happen to you, you know, granted, it may make you feel fucked up. Like, damn, I got to keep altering my way of doing things. I got to stop being around, or I got to, whatever you feel like you got to modify in your day or your way of moving around. Is it worth it to go back and not do it? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're aware of it now and you know these things can happen and then you don't do it and then something happens again, like can you really be mad? Like I mean, you kind of signed up for this, didn't you? You know what I'm saying? Like I hate this. It's not to say again, it's right that it's happening, but to change your movements. Then if you can't change people's perceptions or what they're gonna say or try to do to you, you gotta just modify it yourself. Then you gotta figure out a way to not do certain.
Hindsight's always 20/20. He's gonna look back and like, damn, I should have fucking. Cut ties or did this and did that different. Like,
you gotta
when you're in a position where you're, you know, you're finally reaching some sort of success at whatever you're trying to do. Like you said, man, you gotta sometimes you gotta just acknowledge the temperature in the room. You gotta move a little different. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're coming from the type of background that they allude to coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like gang shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't play gang.
Ain't no playing gang.
You can't play gang. That's just like what Snoop said. You can't play boxing, man. You don't play gang. That ain't the game. That ain't the thing you play.
Hell no.
That shit is forever. People like that's the hard part, you know. I mean, but it's what people grow up and you know. I don't blame the people who are in those things.
No,
it's obviously 100% environment based. You know what I'm saying? For the largest majority of people, I don't want to say because obviously there's people out here who are fraud and who just hop in it because they saw it.
Artifacts.
But you know, for the most part, and from what I can tell from him, no. He just was in that. That's him. You know what I'm saying? He grew up in an area and he grew up around these things. Right. And that's who he is. And it's not a front or him trying to do things, which is where, again, it makes it easier for them to target you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because you are actually like that. That is who you really are. And you've actually come out and early on, especially in his career, he talked about these things, you know, how he had been in and out of jail and spent time and how he had robbed people and done these things and whatnot. So it's like, now you're kind of letting them know, you know, and it's not it's not to say you're wrong. It's just to say this is what happens. You got to start evolving a little bit and start learning like, yo, I got to start figuring out ways to be a little bit more crafty with the way I talk about things and how I brand my, because this is still me. It's still my part of my brand, so to speak, is the streets and is in the gang lifestyle and things of that nature. But look at Snoop. Snoop is still representing the gang lifestyle all this time later, but he doesn't put himself in these positions to be around these types of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He understands the line.
Hood for real.
Yeah, he understands the line to draw, and he's made it sure that everybody around him or people who are in that lifestyle understand that as well. Like, bro, when I come around, I'm kicking it with y'all, and I got love for y'all, but don't be hitting my phone up about shit you doing out here. You know what I'm saying? Don't be doing sending me text messages or whatever that it could implicate me or no, don't do that. Yeah. Matter of fact, I ain't giving nobody my number. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things you just don't do no more.
Call him.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you ever call me.
I heard that early on.
He'll talk to him and he'll talk to me.
Madlib isn't even as far. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's involved in gang lifestyle or whatever or anything of that nature. But he does it early on when they were talking about the Bandana album when it came out with him and Freddie Gibbs. You know, he doesn't even have a fucking phone. His email address. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and so when people want to get in contact with him, they got to contact so-and-so who's got to contact so-and-so to get in contact with him. He made it that way on purpose because he's like, yo, first and foremost, I just don't want to be accessible to people. But also, what do I really need it for? I don't have that many people I need to talk to. I have people around me that everybody I need to talk to is right around me already. Yeah. Most of the people I need, my family or whoever's, they're around me already. I don't have to have contact with all these other people. And that's when you make smarter decisions. You lessen the people you're around, the less people you interact with, the less stories you have to try to remember, things you've done, what you've been up to, where you've been. I know because I kind of do the same things every day almost. Every once in a while I go and have fun here and there or whatever, but even then I'm moving with the same people. So it's hard for me to know. It's hard for me to get into anything.
And you can trust that those people are, you know,
because they got the same mind.
Exactly. They have all our best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? That and especially if I'm the one who's, you know, leading the pack and bringing in, you know, money and this, that, and the third, then hopefully you guys would not want to fuck that up. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
you would think so.
Yeah, you want to have that kind of team in place that you can trust to not jeopardize your career. Like you said, don't call me about that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For
Keep that
sure.
shit out there.
Yeah, and that's you know, again, you can't just cut that off with people, you know what I'm saying, when they grew up with you or if you know them from so-and-so or if they're a family member, you know, it's hard for them to understand it because you're still so-and-so to them.
Indeed.
But
they have to have the wherewithal to say, man, listen, you got a position to fucking be something like how they always talk about D-Rock and Big, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nigga.
And then you got to be the one. Like I saw recently Jay talking about it in an interview at some point where he's talking about Big. He was with Big early on. It was him and Tata, and they were going to some club, and they got to the club, and outside there was some people standing, And Big saw and was just like, yeah, no, I ain't going. And they were like, what? Like, he was like, we was like, Big had already kind of been in the game for a little while. So, he just saw things a little differently. And, we fresh. We want to get out. We want to, mess around with the girls and stuff, go in the club. And, we thinking he's scared. And we just want to act, prove to him we're not scared. So we just like, what? Man, let us out. Let's go. So we get out. And as we walking away, he's like, we talking about Big behind his back in a way. We kind of like, damn, we can't be like, oh, he's scared. Like, man, what the hell? He crazy. Like, but, he was like, he just had a bigger idea. He just knew, it wasn't that he was scared. It was just that he just thought to himself, why would I put myself in these positions? Right. You know what I'm saying? When I don't know these things are going to happen, but why even put myself there to even find out? Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. I don't really care if it's a great night or a bad night. I just personally don't want to find out. You know what I'm saying? And there's other times I'll be able to have fun or do other things. It's not going to make me lose anything if I don't get out and go to this club right now. Yeah, those are those moments you got to understand that for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nobody's going to tell you or make you do those things. You're going to have to decide on your own. Like, yeah, man, I need to just not go that place or go do those things. Man. Like, yeah. And just be okay with that. Like, again, we always, too many people want, the YOLO or the FOMO, thinking you missing out or something. Like, missing out. You ain't missing nothing, yo. Shit is the same, man. Yeah. For real. And if you've been to a club, you've been to a club, and you've heard the music, and you know what goes on. People get in there, they drink, they have a good time, and they dance, and that's about the same everywhere you go, man. Like, there's gonna be some different people you see. They might play a couple of different songs, but for the most part, it's kind of the same, man. Yeah. And to just be there, just to be there, is like, what's the point? I gotta know I'm getting something.
Especially if you're like running a risk of being at danger or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you said, you provide for a lot of people, so it's like, why would I do this? You know what I'm saying?
It has to make sense.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything. It's the risk is not worth it. The reward is not going to get me much out. I'm not going to get a whole bunch of money from this. It's not going to get me any more opportunities. But
yeah, man, prayers up for Cass.
Yeah, for sure, man.
2 times, man. I hope everything works out. I hate to,
yeah, I think something tells me like he doesn't seem in any way like concerned or anything. That doesn't mean to say that something couldn't still happen, but I feel like it does seem like it's somebody reaching for something. Like, he doesn't have a very tight connection to this. Like, he's like a loose name somebody threw out.
Like I said, man, just because, like you said, guilty by association sometimes.
Yeah, well, definitely that could happen. But it's going to be hard if he didn't have any direct hand in something. Yeah. If there's a direct hand they can draw to him, then there's going to be a problem. But if there's no way to directly say what he did.
Yeah, I hope, man.
That's what I think. I think it's hearsay. I feel like
I feel
like it's some people just taking notes of things and putting it together because he was seen with so-and-so, and then they're saying, oh, well, then that must mean he was with that one too, and he did this, and he was there. And they're trying to pull things together. I think they just don't have much weight. I would, again, that's my personal opinion. I don't have any knowledge to know to know that for sure.
We have to wait and watch this thing play out, unfortunately, man.
Yeah. Again, like you said, man, hope everything goes well for him for that. Yeah. Hoping everything works out. But on some other stuff, music a little bit. Did you just say you saw what was it? Keisha Cole and Ashanti supposedly they're talking about that VERZUZ coming up.
Yep. Officially, they say VERZUZ said it's official.
I'm gonna say it, man. 2 non-singing singers about to have a VERZUZ.
Yeah.
What are we doing here, guys? I mean, nah, for real though. Keisha got a good voice. Ashanti can hold a note. She's a good songwriter. Who do you think's
a better writer?
Ashanti.
Ashanti. I would say those two as well.
I think she is.
I think Ashanti.
Keisha got a way of. She got an emotion though to her.
Yeah.
That's different. That's what kind of I think on early on in that rasp. Sort of that rawness. I guess people were trying to look at her and say a lot of comparisons to Mary J. Blige and like that sort of aesthetic.
Yeah, indeed. I can see that. I always thought Keisha Cole and likes of Ashanti was a better vocalist. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I'm not. I'll be honest. I don't have a dog in the fight, as they say. I really don't care much about this either way. Respects to both of them for sure. Like just
for the culture.
Yeah, 100% at all times. I'm for it. Whatever Timbo and Swizz put together, I'm for it. Like I don't have any bad thing to say about it. I may not watch it, but I don't have any bad things to say about it because I feel like what they're doing is more important than just my opinion on
that's real.
The artist and who they are. Like doesn't make a difference.
It seems to be getting bigger and bigger every time.
And they're doing different things with it, like they did with the Jeezy and Gucci. You know, that's like a long-standing thing that people wanted to see resolved, or so to speak. And similar, I think, you know, they've had talks about somebody else. What did they say? I swear I could have saw them talking about Mace and Cameron. You know what I'm saying? Having a versus. So you know, there's a lot of things I think that they're doing that I think they're trying to find other ways than just saying, oh, let's just put two artists that are kind of similar and see what happens. Like, they're trying to find other things that can tie into it in some way. Like, you know,
there's storylines in hip hop, man. That, you know,
for sure.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I don't know what they would pull together for the idea that came out. Now, truth in it, who knows? But that would be incredible. I mean, who knows how that would go? But I mean, imagine Outkast and a Tribe Called Quest. They talked about, they teased that. That would be fucking bananas. Yeah. That would be bananas.
That would be dope. I would love to see like a Lox and Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we got Jadakiss, but I think, you know, the Lox need some credit too. They had, I think, 2 good albums that could, you know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, over time they've done more than that too. Yeah, and they got a lot of records
compilations and just records. Yeah. And Wu as well, you know what I mean?
That would be a long battle. That's why I think they did it the way they did it with RZA.
Yeah.
Kind of let RZA represent the Wu, and then had Premier. That was more of a producer battle. You know what I'm saying?
Can we get back to some producer battles as well? Like,
they could do that. Man. They could. They definitely need to.
Sheesh.
They definitely need to. When is the... I mean, they started it, didn't they? Swizz and Timbo, they were like going back and forth with each other.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so they should definitely get.
Boy Wonder.
Yeah, they should get into that, man. They should definitely
get
do
some
that.
More producers, man.
Yeah, that will be. Yeah, they should do that. They should do the trap thing. They should, again, in some way, they should do like a, you know what I'm saying, a Zaytoven and somebody else like Metro Boomin or something like that, and get that sort of.
Juicy J was on the radio not too long ago. He mentioned somebody like him versus Pharrell.
Yeah, no, don't do that to yourself, Juicy J.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? He said you gotta, you know, if you think you gotta put yourself up there with kings, man. That's what he said.
Yeah,
you know?
that's like an arm saying it wants to fight a leg.
Hey, but Juicy fucking held it down though.
Oh, no, he did. Don't get it twisted.
Memphis, cuz.
Don't get it twisted. But we talking about Pharrell, who, like you said, is a producer who has produced for a lot of people.
Big
so he could just play a bunch of records that aren't even his and beat you.
Yeah, big facts.
He wouldn't have to play his records.
Yeah.
Nothing from him. He could just be like, nah, just play everything I produced.
Put this Happy on real quick. Bust your ass.
Yeah, I'll put Happy on. Shit is over. It's all, battle's over. That's it. Versus over. Yeah. That shit, what did it do? Like fucking 4 billion spins? I don't know what that shit did. Like, however, that shit was, he did like 48 versions of it or some shit.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know what different the fuck that was about. And not to mention, like we were saying, happy birthday to the GOAT today. He's got a bunch of records with Jay.
Oof.
Like a bunch.
Yeah, a bunch.
And with every other great, really.
Yeah.
Like, man, what would you do with that? Come on now.
Yeah.
That seems... I get it. Juicy done some shit. Don't get it twisted. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. If Pharrell goes with somebody, I don't know Pharrell. Who the fuck do you put against Pharrell? Kanye.
Producer-wise.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely production-wise. Yeah, that would be incredible.
Hell yeah. I've been saying that.
That would be incredible. Pharrell and Kanye.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Whatever they produce, they can put up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
That would be hard.
Man. That would definitely be a hard one to make a decision on.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Ye can pull anything off of fucking the Blueprint. Fucking... He can pull anything off of his catalog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be wild.
Man, I don't want that, man. Hear me, universe.
Yeah, hear me
world.
versus universe.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Yeah, man.
I want that. And I still want a Nas.
Man.
Who's gonna put up? Can you get Nas and Jay? I guess because that's the only logical one. Do the storyline thing.
Yeah, right.
Let's get Nas and Jay in there, man.
Nas and Busta.
Oh, Nas and Busta. Busta gotta go get somebody.
Yeah, he do. He wants it. He's been talking. He said it. You know, who else? Was it T.I. or somebody else? He wanted it with.
Yeah, he wanted it with T.I. But that. Well, T.I.'s still available now because he backed out of that for the Jeezy and Gucci thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either, man.
Versus got a lot of potential.
It does, and there's like you said, it's just like how do you make the storyline, because that's got to be a part of how you're gonna make the verses a little bit more interesting.
And you know what else I'm thinking as well? If they don't hurry up and start doing something, somebody else, there's room to capitalize from just what they did. You know what I'm saying? On a lower scale, if you wanted to get artists that's maybe not as popular as the mega stars that they're putting on verses.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to put too much game out there, but shit. You know,
no, people are doing it already. You know what
shit.
I'm saying? There's people already doing it, like locally, especially. I think people try to do it or do things of that nature, and you know, the idea is dope. You know what I'm saying? I think it should be something that more people start to implement and do smaller versions of it or whatever, and like try to bolster a lot more of that kind of stuff. Because again, we're looking at who knows how long it's going to be before concerts become a normal thing. There's concerts happening, there's shows still going on, but not the stadiums, not the arenas, not the big festivals, not the you know what I'm saying, that was so normal for most artists. You know, that's not happening anymore. You know what I mean? No. So you know, we're gonna have to start getting used to finding these different things to do and new ways of, you know, still getting your music heard and doing new things. And that's why you see every day there's an artist that's got a new line of merchandise. You know what I'm saying? That's every single fucking day there's a new one. Yep. And they're all doing it now, multiple drops every other day, because realizing now the market is changing. And being just an artist is not, in one facet, is not going to work for you. You've got to branch out. I saw Cash App even. It's funny. Cash App themselves have now got merchandise. The clothes ain't that bad either. They look kind of fucking dope. It doesn't seem like it's like just some Cash App logos posted on a shirt or something like that. No, it's like clothing. Like they're designing and putting designs and things on shirts and hoodies and sweatpants and things like because they're realizing you've got to branch in different ways. Your company has to represent a lot of different things and still be your brand, though. Like I said,
they sponsor the Joe Budden podcast. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, for real. But like I said, we were talking about before, like Tesla, you know what I'm saying, has a tequila. You know what I mean? It's like just realizing, like, yo, just because I'm this company and that's what I started as, why would I not do these other things too, and then implement that and still use it? And then again, maybe I start finding a way to get into other markets. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I was saying, even like with me, it's like as doing music, you know, maybe there's people who are not interested in the lyrical miracle stuff. They're not interested in the way that I like to put words together, or the way, but maybe they would like the way I do cover art, or maybe they would like a certain way that I design a shirt, or maybe they would like the way I did a music video, or maybe they would like, and so I gotta just let people like what they like and stop trying to tell people like, yeah, but why won't you like my music? It's like, yo, fuck them if they don't like it then. Fuck, I don't want them to like it then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me just, can I get you to like this though? What about this? Let's try this. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of seeing it as a hurdle or something to stop you, see it as an obstacle or a challenge that you're going to now take and do something else with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You just got to learn to adapt and just try to find a new way to do things, because shit is changing. You know, the market is getting different, and you got to find ways, because everybody's in on a lot of the same things now. Indeed. So there's a lot of the same people doing a lot of the same things. And what are you doing that, you know, is different? Yeah. Because truthfully, we're just watching a lot of people, and this is why I don't want to say too much about it, because I don't want to turn people off to mine. But this is why it's like important to brand yourself and be more upfront and out there talking more, and be the face and the voice of your brand as much as you can, because really, it's a lot of people who are just taking blank hoodies and blank shirts and stuff and just slapping these logos and stuff on them, and it's all the same stuff. There's not really designed. So it's like, it's funny because those rappers who are joked for being so designer oriented or whatever really are the ones winning, because they're actually designing. They're actually learning about fabrics and thread counts and stitching and different fabrics and textures and all these things. So they're really creating clothing from the point when the whatever the materials you made was growing or whatever, and then you made it. They know how all that stuff operates and how it really works. So they're making clothing, and there's a difference to what their clothing is going to look like and how they can sell it. Everybody else is just buying from some company that's manufacturing it for you. Then you're slapping your logo on it and saying, here, buy mine, and it's better from the other one. But it's the same hoodie. Yeah, but it's got my logo on it. Yeah, but it's the same hoodie. Yeah, but it's got, like, some people are just going to be like, why would I fucking want it from you, man? This shit ain't that dope. Like, it's just another hoodie. Like, I'll buy a fucking $10 hoodie from fucking Walmart that looks like the one you got. It just doesn't have your little logo on it. Yeah. It keeps me just as warm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
does the job the same.
Like, That's why, again, it's more about the narrative you're creating.
Indeed.
And the way that you're again branding yourself so that there's a story.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we're talking about with the verses, they have to create storylines and something that makes it so that there's more to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just these guys are going to play music, or hey, here's this hoodie I'm selling. It's like, no, what is the hoodie representing though? What is it? What am I putting into this when I put my money into that? Like, I hope that we're all getting a little bit better with that, especially with watching like the big corporations just continuing to get bigger and the small companies getting burned out, especially more and more as COVID continues on, like getting pushed away. And like, so what are you doing? How are you connecting with people? What is your brand representing? Because people are going to start wanting to know a little bit more about these things. I believe it's a lot more people being a little bit more conscious about what their dollar is doing.
Yeah.
So
I love is it black owned?
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Is it a small business?
I do it myself as well, but you know, I see it all the time now. Is this business black owned?
I saw something earlier today too. Somebody was talking about this idea of what's called like freedom cells. You know, it's this decentralizing of things. You know, where people are starting to group up, and again, it looks to me or sounds the same as, again, like the group economic idea. You know, just you get with like-minded people. Everybody may have different traits and different tools that they can provide, and we all slowly start to use each other's tools and things to help each other. And everybody is then slowly starting to restructure a smaller area of things that they can take care of. They start creating smaller schools that they can use, and they can have 10 families now can have this one school that only their 10 kids are going to go to, and start being more centralized with how they're going to actually educate these kids and how they're like, and then business doing that with their businesses and things. Like, this can all be done, you know, again, but it's a slow burn for people because we're consumers, most of us, you know what I'm saying? Selling and being the one making the money is not a lot of our first traits that we learned, you know what I'm saying? We were groomed to be consumers and to be buyers, you know what I'm saying? And producers for other people. And, you know, we could all talk about whether that's by design or not, who knows? I mean, but I think it's family upbringing. That's why I didn't read all of the book, and I skimmed and I heard and watched interviews from him. But, you know, the guy who wrote the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know what I'm saying? Talks about, you know, brokenness or being broke or in poverty, you know what I'm saying? That starts with a mentality. You know what I'm saying? You could watch people who grew up a certain way, who flipped and changed their mentality from what they were growing up in, which was in poverty. They switched the way that they viewed the world and their perspective on how money and economics works. And then they became rich because it started with the way that they were operating. It was the way that they were viewing the world. It was how they stepped out of victimhood and they stepped out of being broke and that they're, again, somehow it's something that the world is just against them or whatever. They stepped out of that perspective and stepped into being, no, but I can make the changes then. Like I said, even though I can't control what people are doing and it's fucked up, if I know that, then I have to make the change then. I have to adjust. Fuck changing. I can't change the world, but I can adjust my way of doing things, knowing that these things exist in the world and that there are these, you know, speed bumps and things that are set in place or that could come up that could try to derail me. I have to be, once I know those things, then I have to just be like, okay, so if they do happen, I'm not going to stop just because it happens. I'm going to be like, okay, let me deal with this as it is and then keep moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a lot more people get better at that. It's natural. I think humans are getting better. Like we said on the last podcast about, like, the unfortunate thing about this whole situation is, you know, the situation itself is just that there's this virus around, that there's just this new thing we have to deal with. But within that, we know that things happen outside of this afterwards. On the other side of all these things, there's innovation, there's creation, there's things that people change. There's a better understanding of people. Our behaviors can change in a good way, in terms of we can start to learn to be more appreciative and grateful for things and stop being so hoardful and stop trying to push people away and all this. We can start learning, like, yo, we need people. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said it on the live. I went live on Thursday, you know, yesterday. And we're just like, you know, I'm an introvert, extrovert. Like, I like to be around people, but other times I don't, you know, but I understand the necessity of people. I understand the necessity of groups and people working together. I understand that. I'm not stupid. I just know that there's an importance in knowing more about you and being more content and being more sovereign, so to speak, because it helps alleviate a lot of other things. When you're so willing to take on all these things, no matter what hiccups or speed bumps that come along, you take them in stride. You know, you change your perspective again. Instead of the mounting feeling of this impending fear of what could go wrong, you start taking on the I wish something would go wrong. Yeah, I'll beat the shit out of you. Whatever, like however you gotta verbiage or whatever you gotta do in your brain to make it be a triumphant way of looking at it, instead of being, oh, these things are gonna stop me, and oh God, this and that, and it's like, bro, those things are gonna occur no matter what, whether you deal with it today or tomorrow. Yeah. So just take it, whatever it is. Always just take the shit and just laugh or something. Like, you know what I mean? It can't be that every time something bad comes up, you just find the reason to stop, which is what we usually do. And most of the time, like I said, you have a good excuse and a bad excuse. Most of the time, though, guess what? It's just an excuse. I don't really give a fuck if it's good or bad. Yeah. It still doesn't change that you just are not doing anything about it. You know what I mean? And that's just not the wave, guys. That's not how it should be.
that ain't the way to get it.
I wanted to mention quickly, I don't want to, because we're getting we've been probably almost done about here, but
we long-winded today.
I think we are kind of. I ain't really looking either myself. I can't see it. But it don't matter really. All I know is I wanted to mention real quick about Rock Marciano and just kind of give him a little bit of a shout too about, I haven't listened to the project yet. I plan on to, but just about the independent game he runs, just him, what he represents, and his consistency and his level of rap, man. Like, again, this guy is top tier. Yeah. Just because he's got relaxed, you know what I mean? He's calm, he's laid back. I mean, his wordplay is unmatched, and he throws in little small jokes from time. Excuse me.
He produces as well, right?
Yeah, he produces a large majority of what he does. Yeah. Most of the stuff he did produce.
That's dope.
But yeah,
I feel bad because I haven't really. I don't mean to feel bad, but I just haven't really followed Rock Marcy like that. You know?
No, I mean I'm not like a huge. I would never say I know all of his discography or anything like that. But just again, the optics, just who he is, what he does, and how he represents.
I've heard of his name
and his structure. Like I said, the independent level that he does. How he puts out a project, and through his website, again we were talking about selling. These records, you know what I'm saying, that he would make, and the record is, the cover art is amazing, and the record itself is like, it's stamped in a different kind of color. The vinyl itself is a different color or something like that, and selling and doing a small print up of only like 300 copies and selling them for like $300 a piece. Sure. You know what I mean? Like making bank quick, you know what I'm saying? And though who knows how much he had to pay to get them made, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he's not making $300 a pop, basically. Maybe he's making, but even still.
Usually, you go into something like that, where you pay low and you profit high.
Well, yeah, I would think so, but it's still, like, I've done it myself, looked it up to see how much it costs to get some vinyl printed up, and just even sometimes getting a low ball amount, it's sometimes it could be $300 a copy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it's such a rarity and the demand is not as high, even though it's still a big thing and it's coming back more and more. It's still a specialty thing, you know what I'm saying, to vinyl press something, you know what I'm saying? And so, like you said, maybe it isn't that much. Maybe they are getting it at a good deal. And so either way, though, I'm still saying, we were talking about, like, they're doing high margins. Rock Marciano is representing something to me that's in the range of what Nipsey was doing when he sold the $100 album. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, why not? You know what I'm saying? I know what I represent. I know what I've branded myself to be. I know how well I put this together. I know, that this is going to be something that's never going to be heard in this way or whatever. I know what my art is. You know what I'm saying? I'm self-aware of it. And so when I am, why would I not be setting these price margins where I set them at? Why would I not? Sell it for $300, and maybe it cost me $100 to make it, but I just made $200 on one record. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And then, fucking 20 people bought it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And that's what I've been thinking a lot about, man. Is that's what but that's the best way to brand and put yourself out there is, centralize yourself as much as you can. Do much of what you can on your own, and do these exclusive things.
Yeah.
Make these one-off pieces and do small printings of things and jack up your prices. But you have to create a need for it, or not a want for it. You have to create that fervor. You have to make people like be really fucking with you, and that comes from consistency. You've put out 3 or 4 projects that people kind of start to realize what you're gonna do, and they kind of understand that you're gonna keep doing it in this way, and that you don't miss, so to speak, when you do this thing the way you do it. They'll start buying into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But people, again, it's like with anything. We were just saying, even like with the vaccine, I'm not buying into this shit right now. But, you know, a few months from now, this shit starts to work out well. Other people gotten it. It's starting to seem like it's helping people out. But you know what? I'll go ahead and get it now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a good idea. I'll go buy it now. I'll go buy that shit. I'll go spend the X amount of dollars or whatever it is. I'll go do what, you know what I'm saying? But I don't trust it right yet.
Yeah.
I don't trust it. I don't get it. I'm not with it. And that's the same way with new artists. I'm not just trusting you off top and gonna drop that much money on you.
Yeah. Word.
But once I start to see that you do it this way, at some point I might be interested. Like, you know what? Even if I don't really, you know, think that it's quote unquote worth that much money, so to speak, right now, I understand that must mean that to me, there's probably going to be a time when this thing is probably worth more than it is now.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and see what's up.
Let me go ahead and cop that, because it'd
yeah.
probably be a good collector's item or whatever. And so maybe at some point it could be almost like I can use this as just another stream of revenue almost, because I got so many rare records.
Yeah.
That at some point, if I needed to, I could just start selling them off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, and making some money back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we see that. We see artists who get people who have signed copies of something, and then they take that and they sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Though that's kind of wrong. Though I think that's kind of fucked up. You buy something from an artist and then you go and eBay it, but hey,
be like that though.
What are you gonna do? Once you own it, so you can do whatever you want with it.
And not even to sidetrack a little bit, but I just saw a $250,000 auction for Charizard Pokemon card.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
I've been looking into like that a little bit too, man, because we're coming up on that time right now where Pokemon is booming, big again.
It's back.
You know. And
I wish I had my deck still.
I still got some. I don't have a lot.
Bro, all our cards are from the 99, 2000 eras. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was a 1999 Charizard, bro. It's auctioning off right now. Well,
yeah, I think it's probably one of those like first editions too. Yeah. Like I don't have any of those. I had a Charizard at one point, but I got it. But either way, I just know I still got the cards.
Yeah.
Some of them. Bro. And I've been looking into it at some point, like, because I thought about it a few years ago, but I was like, no, because something was telling me that there's a generation that was coming up that it was gonna flip again, and you know the cards were gonna come back, you know, to being a big thing again, which is crazy because you wouldn't even think kids would be into card games or things of that nature.
They're not, but the movies.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know, Pokemon, the Pikachu shit just dropped like last year, year before last.
Yeah.
And my son was all over that shit.
Yeah.
He swear he loves Pokemon now.
Yeah. But there's kids who are in it, man, and it's been around for a long time, you know what I mean? And again, collectors know that there's been a large period of time between when it first kind of started or whatever
to its resurgence.
Yeah, so now, it's a good time. I'm looking into it. I got to see, but it's best to try to do your research on a real way and like piece it out.
Yeah.
Sell it card by card. Don't try to sell it as like a group.
Yeah.
You know, it's like bagging up. You know, you guys you buy a whole bunch.
Break that thing down.
Break it down.
One card, $250,000.
Yeah.
$250,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's when you got those good rare cards. I never kept any of those. Or I you know, because I was actually using them.
We didn't know what it was gonna be when it was gonna be.
I didn't think about it that much. I did think about it later on though. Like when I stopped playing with them, I didn't think to get rid of them for whatever reason. I kept them.
Yeah.
You know. And there's other things that I wish I would have done that with, but that's one thing I did do, and I was like, man, maybe I just keep these. You know,
dude,
maybe at some
kept
point.
them up until we had a homie Brian, man, and he had a niece. You know, he does have a niece still.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wanted them, and she was in school at the time, and you know, it was one of those defining moments where if I don't have these cards, you know, it was gonna help her.
She felt like that, yeah. Like it would be cool for her, yeah.
So I threw her my whole fucking. It was like a big thick ass pack of fucking cards. Yeah, here, not thinking nothing of it. Go have fun, make some friends.
Yeah.
Now I see this thing like, damn, I wish I still had.
Oh,
damn cards, man.
Yeah, but you know, that's one of those things. We all got a lot of those. You know, I see Gary Vee talk about those things. Like he did this thing for a while called Trash Talk. He would go around to like garage sales and things of that nature and be buying up like action figures and mugs and stuff like that for $1, $2 and shit like that, and then go check the price of it, and then you could sell it for $10. He'd sell it for $10 and make $8 and do that all day. That's a job, you know what I'm saying? Regardless, it's remedial or it's time consuming maybe, or whatever you might want to call it, but there's a result that can come from it if you're paying attention and you do a little bit of research. Go on eBay and go on these other sites and just look up the pricing on certain things and just start seeing what people are selling things for, and just there's a science behind it, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff out here that people don't know that they have in their basements and their attics, and their grandmother house she stored a bunch of stuff somewhere or whatever, and you can go through and search and find some shit that you could sell for a large amount. Man.
Hell yeah.
But I think we kind of wrapped up here, man. We had a good conversation, good long conversation, and man. So this has been episode 314.
Hey.
Of the Werds Illah Podcast. Moving right along as per usual. The New Year's upon us, coming soon, guys. We're in the holiday season, so we'll push to keep this going. Just depends, what goes on. I mean, honestly, we don't know.
Word.
Especially come, they may do it before then. They may not though. I don't know. They've done it in California already. They may do a lockdown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we might start seeing that there might be a less.
I like the idea of a lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. It's just, again, it's kind of like we're too far gone.
Yeah, we're a little too
in a lot of ways, I feel like at this point,
yeah,
it would just burn out more companies, and it would just destroy more businesses. But we don't have a choice in that anymore. Which again, we talked about. We should be kind of concerned about that in some ways. But So it's the Werds Illah Podcast, greatest podcast in the world. You know what it is.
Yeah.
We out here.
Peace.